Let me tell you a story about transformation, hope, and the untapped power of a plan. Imagine this, a young couple in their late 20s drowning in debt with nothing but a pile of unpaid credit card bills and student loans to show for years of hard work. They live paycheck to paycheck, constantly arguing over money and feeling the crushing weight of financial failure on their shoulders. Every unexpected car repair, medical bill, or even a simple grocery trip felt like a crisis. They were frustrated, angry, and stuck in a cycle they couldn't seem to escape. But one day, everything changed. They sat down, took a deep breath, and decided to try something radical, creating a budget. At first, they were skeptical. A budget? It seemed too simple, too restrictive, like a diet that promised the world but left you hungry and miserable. But they gave it a shot. They listed every dollar they made and every penny they spent. They faced the truth of their financial situation. Every unnecessary subscription, every impulsive Amazon order, every dining out splurge. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It was uncomfortable, even painful.
But for the first time, they saw clearly where their money was going. And then they began to tell their money where to go instead of wondering where it had gone. Within months, the argument stopped. The stress eased. They started paying down debts, one bill at a time, with every victory sparking new hope. They saved for emergencies and created a cushion for the unexpected. They even set goals, big, audacious goals, like owning a home and starting a business. And here's the amazing part. They didn't feel restricted. They felt empowered. They realized that budgeting wasn't about saying no to everything fun. It was about saying yes to the future they wanted, about living intentionally and with purpose.
That couple went from financial chaos to financial peace, not because they earned more or hit the lottery, but because they embraced the simple yet powerful act of budgeting. And this isn't just their story. I can be your story too. A budget isn't just numbers on a page or a spreadsheet. It's your plan, your path, your map to financial freedom. It's how you take control of your money and ultimately your life. You see, a budget isn't just a tool. It's a declaration of your priorities, your values, and your dreams. So let me ask you this. What would it feel like to live without the constant stress of money? To have a plan, a purpose, and peace of mind? That feeling is within your reach, and it starts with a budget. Today can be the day you take the first step toward that freedom, just like that young couple did. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And if they can do it, so can you. Budget is more than just a financial tool. It's your roadmap to freedom, your guide to navigating the often turbulent seas of life's finances. Think about it. Without a map, you'd wander aimlessly, unsure of your destination, constantly second guessing yourself and wasting precious time and resources. A budget is that map for your money. It tells you where you're going and how to get there. Without it, you're at the mercy of every whim, every unexpected expense, and every impulsive purchase that crosses your path. But with it, you're in control. You're the captain of your ship, steering it confidently toward the future you've always dreamed of. Let me break it down for you. A budget allows you to see your money clearly, not in vague terms, but in black and white. It lets you know exactly what you're earning, what you're spending, and most importantly, what you're wasting, and most importantly, what you're wasting. Most people don't realize how much financial freedom is slipping through their fingers until they sit down and create a budget. Suddenly, those $5 coffees, those streaming subscriptions you forgot you even had, and those late night Amazon splurges start adding up.
And when you add them up,
well, the picture becomes crystal clear. It's not just money you're losing. It's opportunity. It's progress. It's the future you could have had if you'd only taken the time to plan. Now, here's where the real magic of a budget comes in. It doesn't just help you find the leaks in your financial boat. It helps you plug them. And once those leaks are plugged, you start gaining momentum. You begin to realize that every dollar you don't waste is a dollar you can use to crush debt, build savings, and invest in your future. That's when the tides start turning. You go from feeling powerless and overwhelmed to confident and empowered. You're no longer reacting to your financial situation. You're controlling it. You're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. But the power of a budget doesn't stop there. A budget doesn't just keep you afloat. It helps you dream. When you're no longer shackled by debt or living paycheck to paycheck, you start to see the bigger picture. You begin to ask yourself questions like, what would I do if money wasn't a constant worry? What kind of life could I build if I had control over my finances? And the answers to those questions are the fuel that keeps you going. Maybe it's starting a business, taking your family on the vacation of a lifetime, sending your kids to college without them drowning in student loans, or retiring early to pursue your passions. Whatever your dream is, a budget can help you get there.
You see, a budget isn't about restriction. It's about intention. It's about being intentional with your money so you can say yes to the things that truly matter and no to the things that don't. It's about aligning your spending with your values and your goals. It's about creating a life you're proud of, a life that reflects your priorities and your purpose. And let me tell you, there's nothing more freeing than living a life that's fully aligned with who you are and what you stand for.
So my challenge to you is this: don't settle for financial chaos. Don't let money be a source of stress and division in your life. Take control.
Right.
Your budget. Start small if you have to, but start, because every great journey begins with a single step and every great financial story begins with a plan. And that plan is your budget. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Discipline leads to freedom. I know, at first glance, it sounds like a contradiction. Most people think discipline means restriction, rules, and limits. They think it's about saying no to everything that brings them joy or excitement. But the truth is, discipline is the very thing that opens the door to the life you've always dreamed of. And nowhere is this truer than with your money. A budget at its core is a form of discipline. It's a tool that requires you to plan ahead, to be intentional, and to take responsibility for every dollar that comes into your life.
And when you embrace that discipline, when you commit to it, something incredible happens. You discover a level of freedom you never thought possible.
Think about it. When you don't have a budget, you're constantly reacting. You're putting out fires, juggling bills, and living in a state of financial chaos. Every month feels like a scramble just to make ends meet, and every unexpected expense sends you into a tailspin. That's not freedom. That's financial bondage. But when you have a budget, you're proactive. You're in control. You know exactly what's coming in and what's going out, and you've accounted for every dollar. Instead of being ruled by your money, you're ruling over it. And that's where the freedom comes in. Suddenly, you're not afraid to check your bank account. You're not living in fear of the next bill or the next emergency. You're calm, confident, and in control.
Let me give you an example. Imagine walking into a store and seeing something you really want, a new gadget, a piece of furniture, or maybe even a vacation package.
When you're living without a budget, you might buy it impulsively, only to feel regret later when you realize it's thrown off your finances. Or worse, you might not buy it at all because you're paralyzed by the uncertainty of whether or not you can afford it. But when you're living with a budget, the decision is simple. You already know whether or not that purchase fits into your plan. If it does, you buy it guilt-free. If it doesn't, you walk away without regret because you're confident that you're prioritizing the things that truly matter. That's freedom. It's the freedom to make financial decisions without fear, guilt, or second guessing. And here's the thing. This freedom extends far beyond your bank account. When you're no longer stressed about money, you have more energy and mental space to focus on other areas of your life. Your relationships, your health, your personal growth, your personal growth.
You're no longer consumed by worry, so you can be fully present with the people you love. You can dream bigger dreams, take bigger risks, and live with a sense of purpose and peace.
That's what discipline through budgeting gives you. It doesn't box you in. It sets you free.
But let me be clear. This kind of freedom doesn't happen overnight. It takes work. It takes commitment. It takes saying no to the things that don't align with your goals so you can say yes to the things that do. It's about choosing delayed gratification over instant pleasure, understanding that the sacrifices you make today will lead to a far greater reward tomorrow.
And yes, it can be hard.
There will be moments when you're tempted to give up, when the pull of old habits feels stronger than the promise of your future. But let me tell you, every step of the journey is worth it.
Because every dollar you budget, every debt you pay off, and every goal you reach brings you closer to a life of true financial freedom. So if you're ready to experience that freedom, it's time to embrace the discipline of a budget. It's time to take control of your money, your future, and your life, because discipline isn't your enemy. It's your ally.
And with it, you can build a life that's not just free from financial stress, but rich in purpose, joy, and fulfillment. That's the power of a budget. That's the power of discipline. And that's the freedom that's waiting for you.
There's one thing that's certain in life: things won't always go as planned. Life throws curveballs at us, unexpected expenses, emergencies, or situations that catch us completely off guard.
And when you're not prepared, when you don't have a plan in place, these unexpected challenges can feel overwhelming, even insurmountable. But here's the truth. A budget is your shield in these moments of uncertainty. It's the financial armor that protects you from the chaos that life inevitably brings. With a budget, you're not just reacting to life's ups and downs, you're anticipating them and you're ready for them. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're living without a budget. You've got no savings set aside for emergencies, no clear financial plan, and you're already living paycheck to paycheck. Then out of nowhere, your car breaks down and it's going to cost you $1,200 to fix it. How do you react? Panic sets in, right? You're trying to figure out how you'll juggle this unexpected expense with everything else. Do you put it on a credit card? Do you borrow money? Or worse, do you ignore the problem, hoping it will go away on its own? The anxiety and stress of not being prepared can be crippling.
But now imagine you're living with a budget. Your budget has already accounted for this kind of thing. You've been setting aside money in an emergency fund for months, just a little bit at a time, consistently, and without fail. And now when the unexpected happens, you don't panic. You don't have to scramble or go into debt. You just dip into your emergency fund and get your car fixed. And you don't lose a moment of sleep over it.
That's the power of a budget. It's not just about managing your day-to-day expenses. It's about building a cushion, a safety net, so when life throws you a curveball, you're not knocked off track. You're ready. This is where the true beauty of budgeting shows up. It's not just a tool for managing your money today. It's a tool for building a secure, stable future no matter what happens. The world can be unpredictable, but your finances don't have to be.
You don't have to live in fear of the unknown. With a well-crafted budget, you've got a plan for the worst case scenario and you're in control. You're no longer at the mercy of whatever life decides to throw your way.
Instead, you're ready to face the future with confidence, knowing you've built the financial resilience to weather any storm.
And here's the best part. The more you stick to your budget, the stronger your financial position becomes. It's like building a muscle. Every time you save for an emergency, every time you avoid unnecessary debt, every time you pay off a bill or save for a big goal, you're strengthening that financial armor. You're fortifying your ability to handle life's uncertainties with grace. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, even in the face of adversity. But I know what you might be thinking. What if something really big happens? What if I lose my job? Or what if my health takes a turn for the worse? Let me be clear. No one can predict the future, but the beauty of a budget is that it prepares you for it. A budget isn't a guarantee that life will always be smooth sailing, but it's a guarantee that you won't be caught off guard. It's the peace of mind that comes with knowing you have a plan, that you've taken the necessary steps to secure your future, no matter what comes your way. This is why I tell people all the time, build that emergency fund, keep your debt under control, and live on a budget. It's not about being afraid of what might happen. It's about being ready for whatever life throws at you. You're not just planning for today, you're planning for tomorrow and for all the unknowns that could come your way. You're making sure that no matter what happens, you're not going to have to start over from scratch. You're going to be able to handle it and keep moving forward. And let me tell you, there's no greater sense of freedom than knowing that you're prepared, no matter what. That's the power of a budget. It gives you the financial flexibility to handle life's challenges with confidence and peace of mind.
It gives you the ability to bounce back quickly when things go wrong. It helps you sleep easier at night, knowing you've planned for the unexpected. And the best part, it doesn't take a miracle to get there. It doesn't take a miracle to get there. It just takes a plan, some discipline, and the decision to take control.
So when life throws you that curveball, and trust me, you'll be ready. You'll be ready because you've got a budget. And that budget is your strongest defense against the chaos that life can sometimes bring.
Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose, no longer tied down by the stress of living paycheck to paycheck, no longer burdened by debt or uncertainty about the future. You've made a plan.
You've set clear goals. You've decided what you want out of life and how to get there. And every day, you wake up knowing exactly what you're working toward. That's the power of having a budget. But even more than that, that's the power of having a financial plan that aligns with your dream. You see, budgeting isn't just about making sure you can pay your bills or survive another month. It's about creating the life you've always imagined. It's about putting your money to work for you, aligning your spending with your values, and using every dollar to move you closer to the life you've dreamed of. When you sit down and build a budget, you're not just managing your expenses. You're actively choosing your future. You're saying, I'm going to take control of my money instead of letting my money control me. You're making a commitment to yourself and your loved ones that you're going to be intentional about where your money goes. This isn't just about cutting out all the fun, all the enjoyment. It's about being strategic. It's about knowing that every dollar spent is a dollar that could be spent towards something that truly matters. And the beauty of it, once you're in control, you get to say yes to your biggest goal. So what's the life you've always dreamed of? Is it a debt-free future where you're not weighed down by credit cards and loans? Is it a life where you can travel the world without stressing over how to pay for it? Or maybe it's the security of knowing that you're building wealth for yourself and your family, ensuring that your children can have a brighter future without the financial burdens you had to face. Whatever your dream is, a budget is the first step to achieving it. You start small, but with every dollar you save, every debt you pay off, and every goal you reach, you're moving closer and closer to your vision. Think about it. Your financial freedom isn't something that happens by chance. It doesn't just fall into your lap. It's something you create step by step. It's about making the conscious choice every single day to live within your means, to save, to invest, and to take care of your money so that it works for you. Every time you put that money into savings or pay off a credit card, you're building your future. You're putting a brick in the foundation of your dreams.
You're saying to yourself, I am worth this. My family is worth this. My future is worth this.
Let me tell you, there's a feeling you get when you finally take control of your finances. It's not just about the money. It's about the confidence, the security,
The peace of mind that comes from knowing you're doing the right thing, that you're in control of your money, and that every decision you make is moving you closer to your goals.
It's about knowing that no matter what happens in life, you're going to be okay.
Because you've planned for it.
You've built an emergency fund. You're debt free. You've invested for the future. And now you can live the life you want on your own terms.
a budget isn't just a financial tool. It's the roadmap to the life you want to lay, to the life you want to live. It's the way to make sure that your money goes to the things that matter most to you, whether that's buying your first home, retiring early, or building generational wealth for your children. It all starts with a plan. It all starts with a plan. And that plan, my friend, is your budget. So take a moment, think about what you want your life to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What does that future look like? Now, start working toward it today by building your budget. And remember, the most important step is the first one, deciding that you're going to take control. Because once you do, there's nothing stopping you from living the life you've always dreamed of.
Let me tell you something important, something that can change your life. It all starts with one small, powerful decision to take control of your money. Now, I know what you're thinking. Babe, it's hard to get started. I don't know where to begin. Trust me, I understand. It can feel overwhelming, especially if you're buried in debt or living paycheck to paycheck. But here's the truth. The hardest part isn't creating a budget or sticking to a plan. The hardest part is making the decision to start. Once you make that commitment, everything else falls into place. And the best part, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to take the first step.
Here's the thing about a budget. It's not something that's done in a day. It's a living, breathing plan that you adjust, tweak, and improve over time. But the most important thing is to start.
And starting isn't as hard as you think. It's simply sitting down, grabbing a pen and writing out your income and expenses. Write down every dollar that comes in and every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. This isn't about judgment. This is about clarity. This is about seeing where your money is actually going, not where you think it's going or where you think it's going. For the first time, you'll have a clear picture of your financial landscape.
You'll know exactly what's coming in, what's going out, and most importantly, where you can make adjustments.
But don't stop there. The next step is to give every dollar a purpose. This is where the magic happens. When you assign a specific job to each dollar, you stop your money from slipping through your fingers. Your budget isn't just a list of numbers. It's a plan for your future. It's a way to make sure that every dollar you make is working for you, helping you achieve your goals, and giving you the financial freedom to live life on your terms. You see, the real power of a budget isn't in the control it gives you over your money. It's in the control it gives you over your life. You stop being a slave to debt, to bills, to financial stress, and you start being the master of your own future.
Let me be clear. There will be bumps along the way. There will be moments when you slip up, when you make mistakes, and that's okay. I'm not here to tell you that budgeting is easy.
It's not. But I'm here to tell you that it's worth it. And every time you make progress, every time you see your debt shrinking or your savings growing, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that you can't get from anything else. You'll feel proud of yourself because you're taking control. And as you keep going, as you keep refining your plan and sticking to your goals, that pride will turn into confidence. You'll be confident in your ability to handle anything life throws at you because you'll know you've got the financial foundation to back it up. But you've got to stick with it. Consistency is key. Set aside time each week to check in with your budget. Look at where you're spending, where you're saving, and make sure you're staying on track. This isn't something you do once and forget about. It's a journey, and it's one that requires constant attention. But with every step you take, you'll move closer to financial freedom. You'll pay off debt, build an emergency fund, and start saving for your future. And eventually, you'll get to the point where you don't just have control over your money, you'll have control over your life. Now, I want you to picture something for a moment. Picture a life where money is no longer a source of stress or anxiety. Imagine waking up every day knowing exactly where your money is going, knowing that you've got enough to cover everything you need and still have money left over to save for your dreams. That's the power of budgeting. That's the power of taking control. And it's a power that's available to you right now in this moment. You just have to decide to take that first step. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be perfect. All you need is the commitment to start. Once you do that, everything else will follow. So I challenge you today, take control. Start building your budget. Make it simple. Make it yours. And know that as you take each step forward, you're moving toward a life of freedom, security, and peace of mind. You've got this. The first step is the hardest, but once you make it, everything else will fall into place. You'll be amazed at how much you can achieve when you take control of your money and give every dollar a purpose. And I promise you, there's no better feeling than knowing that your future is in your hands.
No.
Go out there, take that first step and start. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're stuck? Like no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to make progress? Maybe you're working more hours, but the bills just keep piling up. Or you're saving, but it feels like you're not getting anywhere. That's a tough place to be in. But here's the thing I want you to understand. Staying stuck is a choice. It's not your circumstances. It's not your circumstances. It's not your income. And it's not bad luck. The reason you're stuck is because you haven't made the choice to change. And I'm here to tell you today that change is possible. In fact, change is waiting for you, but it starts with a decision to stop living like this and take control of your money, your future, and your life.
Now, I know you're probably thinking, that sounds great, Dave, but how do I actually do it? Well, it starts with a simple but powerful tool, your budget. The reason most people don't make progress with their finances is because they don't have a plan.
They have no idea where their money is going, and as a result, they end up in debt, stressed out, and constantly wondering how they'll make it to the next paycheck.
Budget changes, all of that. It's the roadmap to your financial success. It's the way you make sure every dollar has a job, every expense is accounted for, and every decision you make with your money is a step in the direction of your goal.
But the beauty of a budget is that it's not just about numbers. It's about you. It's about your dreams, your goals, your values. It's about taking control of your life and making sure that your money works for you instead of you working for your money. The act of budgeting is an act of power. It's saying, I'm not going to let my financial situation dictate my life anymore. I'm going to make decisions today that will lead to the life I want tomorrow. And that, my friend, is the first step toward real freedom. And here's the thing. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect to start. You don't have to have a 6-figure income or be completely debt-free before you begin. The best time to start is right now, in this very moment. The longer you wait, the longer you stay stuck. The longer you wait, the more opportunity you lose. But when you make the decision to start, even with small steps, you begin to take back control. You start making progress, even if it's just a little bit at a time. And I'm telling you, that momentum will build. One day, you'll look back and see how far you've come. And you'll realize that all it took was that one simple decision to begin.
So what does that look like? Well, it looks like sitting down right now and starting your budget. It looks like looking at your income and your expenses and saying, this is my money. I'm going to tell it where to go, and I'm not going to let it control me anymore. It looks like deciding to put a plan in place to pay off your debt. It means
building that emergency fund so that the next time life throws you a curveball, you're not scrambling for money or maxing out your credit cards. It's about putting your financial goals at the forefront of your mind and then building a budget that helps you achieve those goals. It's about taking small intentional steps today that lead to big changes tomorrow. And let me tell you something. Once you start, you'll see things change. Your debt will start to shrink. Your savings will start to grow. You'll stop living in fear of the next bill, and you'll start living with the peace of mind that comes from knowing exactly where your money is going. You'll be able to say yes to the things that really matter to you, whether that's traveling, buying a home, sending your kids to college, or simply being able to retire comfortably.
A budget isn't just a tool for managing your money. It's the key to unlocking the life you've always wanted.
But here's the catch. The choice is yours. You can keep going the way you've been going, and you'll keep getting the same results. Or you can make the decision today to take control. You can choose to live with intention, to stop living paycheck to paycheck, and to start building the financial future you deserve. I promise you, if you make that choice, you will not regret it. Your future self will thank you for the decision you make today. So I challenge you, take that first step. Build your budget. Start small, but start. And as you do, you'll be amazed at the life you can create, $1 at a time. Because once you make that decision, once you decide to take control, nothing can stop you. You've got this. It's time to take action. Your future is waiting.